I'm telling you that. Don't take it for granted that you get up in the morning, you say, my salary is not enough. That's not what I'm talking about. What is not enough if you don't have it? You don't even have something to say it is not enough. So don't use it is not enough to destroy the company that allows you to have what you consider not enough. All right, so that's all you have. Your vocation, company, reputation. That's how I saw my calling. That this is all I have. And for me, it was very significant because of my history and where I was coming from and the situation of my life. And I just thank God that I have a calling. That He has allowed me to start a church. It's meeting in a classroom, but that's all I have. There was no electricity in the classroom, but that's all I have. Just a few people, that's all I have. That's my flock. Those are my herds. And if I took good care of that, then God will give me something significant. So what does the passage say we should do with our flocks and herds? What should we do with them? So I will read the verse again, and then I'll tell you what the passage says we should do. It says, be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds. Be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herd. Be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds. What is it saying? First, it says, know the state of your flock. Know their state. It means to notice, to listen, to learn, to pay close attention to them. The Hebrew word used there is yada. Yada is to know something experientially. To know something experientially. It's not sitting afar to know information. It's getting down there to know it for yourself. Having first-hand experiential knowledge about your vocation, your company, reputation, your flocks and your stock and your heads. Now, in this particular verse, the word yada and the way it is used is very interesting. It means to be aware of the voices and the faces of your flock. Be aware of the voices and the faces of your flock. Can you imagine? You are a shepherd in those days, and the passage says if you're going to do well, you must not just know your flock, but be aware of their voice and faces. How can a shepherd know the voice and the faces of his sheep? Because as far as I know, all sheep look the same. Don't you think so? Except if the color is different. If it's black, I'll say that's a black sheep. It's white, that's a white one. That's black and white, that's a black and white one. But the passage doesn't even talk about their color. It talks about their face and their voice. So the passage is saying when your goat bleats, meh, and then today, next day it says, meh, you should tell the difference between meh and meh and be able to tell what is happening to your flock. That's what it's saying. Pay attention to their voice, pay attention to their face. In other words, the goat will not look the same to you. Each one must be known. You must know each one. Pay attention to them. That's what the flock said. And that's what advised me when I started as a pastor. I had a small church, meeting in a small classroom. We didn't have electricity in that classroom. We didn't have drums. We didn't have equipment. We didn't have anything. We didn't have a sponsor. We didn't have money. And nobody in the church had a car, including the pastor. How am I going to take care of this flock? The passage says, pay attention. Know them. Know them intimately. You cannot sit, fold your legs, fold your arms, issue instructions, and think things will work. You have to have experiential knowledge. So, this proverb tells us that we must notice, we must listen, and we must learn if we want to improve our vocation, our place of work, or our reputation. How well do you know your work? How well do you know the place you work for? How well do you know the people you serve? Know them well. Then the second thing it says is that attend to them. Attend to them. It means to be always ready to serve. Be always ready to serve. Always ready to serve. You have to correct that. Always ready to serve. The Hebrew word that is used there means to stand at attention, ready to go to work. He says that's how you should attend to your head. Stand at attention, ready to work. Interesting. It means you cannot be passive and casual about what you do. The closest situation I can apply this to is to a doctor who is on call. A doctor on call, for all of you doctors, God bless you. And nurses. Somebody said, what about my work? Your work too, God bless you. But I'm talking about doctors and nurses. A doctor on call. It's one of those things that is so fascinating. I remember when my wife used to get pregnant. We've come out of that trade a long time ago, but when we used to be in the trade, and you know, and she gets pregnant, and especially when it's getting to delivery time, and we will talk to the doctor, her doctor, and usually if it's about within the week or so, the doctor will say, listen. In those days, there was no cell phone. And they will say, any time of the night, if so and so happens, call me. That's landline call. Any time of the night. And if you don't even call, come. Can you imagine? I mean, now you have phone and somebody can give you notice, I'm coming. But those days, you just pop in. And the doctor will say, anytime, anytime. And it used to fascinate me. And I know that, I know our doctor at that time, he was a young man, almost like me, slightly older than myself. Young family, had a wife and children. Just like everybody wants to sleep, he also wants to sleep. Everybody gets tired. He also gets tired. His family needs him. His wife needs him. His children need him. But he says, at this point, you are my flock. And I stand ready to my own inconvenience to serve you. That is what the proverb writer had. Attend to your flock means stand ready at any time, morning, noon, and night, to take care of the flock. No excuses. Take your work seriously. Of course, when the doctor tells you you can call anytime, please don't take advantage of that and call him and say, I was just watching this on TV. What do you think? Please, that's not what this is. This is for emergency. And most times you may never have to make that call. But just to show you, it's a mindset that the doctor has. And there are a few other professionals who have that same mindset, who would say, I'm working on this project for you. Call me 24/7. Now there are people who say, call me 24/7, and you call them 1, nothing. 2, nothing. 3, nothing. 24, nothing. Not to even talk about 7. Call me anytime. You never get him. Line is always engaged. Or you leave messages and leave WhatsApp. And they told you, call me anytime. If that's how you are managing your work, we will learn later. You're not going to do well. And it will not be the devil. It will not be demons. It will not be your grandmother. It will not be a curse. It will not even be that the nation is hard. It simply means you didn't apply yourself. You know, when I started ICGC, it was during the hardest time in Ghana. Those of you who are old enough to know. Those days we had chains that were attributed to our president at that time. People were growing lean. People were emaciated. We were eating yellow corn. People would go to queue for corn before it is cooked. We were having our bath with some miserable soap, corrosive. The stores were empty. Shelves were empty. That is the situation I was called to. You can't even talk to your members about giving, because you look at their face and you hear they are bleating, meh. You know, this one I can't tell him to give. He said, time for giving, meh, meh. They are crying. You can't even tell them to give. All you have to do is pour your heart and pour your heart and pour your heart and pour your heart and pour your heart, because it's not reward time. Attend to them. And why does the passage says we should care for our flocks? Why did it say that? I want to read the verse again. It says, be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds. For means because. This is the because. There's a place in Abeka called Abeka because. Because why should we attend to the flock? Because riches are not forever, nor does a crown endure to all generations.
We've come to the end of this video. We believe you've been blessed. Remember, God's love is steadfast and unchanging. May His grace and peace be with you always. If you're new here, consider subscribing to stay up to date with our videos. Kindly share this video with your friends and families. You can watch this next video on your screen.